Hi everyone, Julian here, just going over a short tutorial on Project 2 Montage operations for Design 211. In this tutorial we're going to look at how to create the resolved exterior photo joiner. So how I would go about starting this off, first things first is create a new file, and then we want it to be 17 by 11, either in landscape or portrait. You can see that there. We're going to go with landscape in this case. Then we'll do create. So once we've created our document here, we want to throw in what I'm recommending is a overall shot of our site or building or landscape. So with this, we're going to use it as a bit of a guide to figure out where all our photos are going to go, to create like the David Hockney style. So I'm going to go in here, and first things first, you want to click on your image, and then you want to convert it to a smart object. And then what this does is, like, if you scale the image down or up, it'll preserve that original resolution. So you want to do this step on all your images when you're importing them, just to keep that high resolution, so that when you do scale them and move them around, it'll keep that high res photo file. Okay, so what we can do here is change our opacity to 50%, and then now we can use this as a bit of a guide for our placement of our photos here. So I can go in here, convert this to a smart object, and then I can pull this down, and I can line that up as so. You can even go put opacity on this image in the foreground, and then try to line that up that way. So I can get this little shed. And then similarly, we can get photos of this photo here. So again, I'm just dragging these photos in from my file explorer. So all you have to do, very simple, take your photo that you want to import into the space, drag it in, and you're done. It creates its own layer. Just hit the check mark and then convert that to a smart object. So I'm going to take these photos that are both smart objects, and then scale them down. This one goes about there. Line up that bridge. I can set the opacity on this one. And then to zoom, you just hold Alt and the scroll. You can zoom in and out like that. So here I can zoom in, line up that bridge. Same thing with this one. I'm going to line up this kind of factory tower. And eventually we're going to create this image montage. This is like a nice way to work, to be able to organize all your images, figure out what images you might need and which ones you want to curate. This one's a nice image of one of the train cars going through this factory. Or industrial building. And then now maybe I want to get a bit of the tower. Again, just hit the check mark. Convert to smart object, then scale. And then another thing you can do when we kind of get these sort of conditions where we can't get an image perfectly aligned, we can use the Control T function or the transform tool, and this will allow us to spin our image, rotate it, so that I can kind of get it aligned the way I want. You can also use the control key. Sorry. So if you hold the control key and then click on a corner, then you can actually adjust the perspective like this. So that might be handy to try to match your photos. Just that extra bit there to get them to align. Like in this case where like my one side isn't aligning as well as I want it to. So when we're happy with the composition of our photo joiner, we can go into the Adjustments tab here and play around with some of the adjustments in Photoshop, such as the tone curve, which brings out light in the photo. We can play with vibrancy, bring out the colors, or we can do the opposite, play with saturation, make the image black and white. So I encourage you to play around with these adjustments. And once you're happy with what you have, we can go to the file here, we can go to export, export as, and then we want to set PNG, and then keep it as high res as we can. Export, decide where you want to export your image, and then you're all done. So thank you for following on this tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial for the experimental photo joiner. Thank you.